Good morning actually, and Santa's countdown to Christmas 2017 clock says there are 6 days left to Christmas. And if that's not something to be happy about, then maybe the fact that you're watching Joy News Interactive with me, Mapito Sibidi, should put a smile on your face. We're coming to you live from the digital address 099-3341 here in Kokomimle in Accra. And if you want a first class seat on the interactive train, then DSTV channel 41 and Go TV channel 144 is the way to go. You can also send your comments on Joy News on TV on Facebook and Twitter. To some very disturbing news, a video has gone viral and 5 young men gang raped a young girl and were even proud enough to film it and share the video. If this is not impunity, then I don't know what it is. Here in Ghana, are we experiencing a rape culture? Are we proud of our rape culture? What is the ministry doing? What are the police doing? So we asked you on Facebook, are we experiencing a rape culture in Ghana? And the first Facebook comment is from Marcel Adam, who says, what at all is happening in Ghana? Are we safe at all? Things that people do in the past and hide are things that people do today and even share it on social media. May God help us. And Kingsley Melo say they will be caught and named suspects, and then investigation will start when there is a clear evidence. Time will be wasted and nothing actually may happen thereafter. What a system. And a comment from Matthew Nana, who says, I believe there's so much nudity on our media and lack of sex education in our families. I think the laws must also be enforced and announced publicly that those whom the law has dealt with serve as a deterrent to others. And Gladstone says, first, how did the girl find herself in the room? Secondly, has she been intimate with any of these guys before? Honestly, Gladstone, if I have to comment on that, I don't think you should be asking how the girl found herself in the room and how if she has been intimate with any of the guys before. And thirdly, these guys, do they know the magnitude of the crime they have committed? I think we should have started with the third question. Do these guys know the magnitude of the crime they have committed? If it was something they planned on doing without detection, then why did they videotape the crime? The law must act quickly and swiftly to make an example of these hoodlums. And Raw Gear says, I watched the video yesterday after a Facebook friend shared it on his wall. The excitement of the boys while they took advantage of their victim was very much nauseating. It's sad we have thrown morality to the dogs and the police must act now. And Nana Ajaman says, the girl resisted with all her might for 5 solid minutes. The guys are very heartless. I pray they get arrested and face the law. The judge in the case should be just as heartless in his judgment as those fools were in the video. And Nana Opoku says, I'm saddened by this video. The law should also have the same audacity to place these ugly boys to their rightful place. And we're going to take a few more comments. Mohammed says, the culprits are not faceless, their faces are clear, and the police should pick them up for interrogation and possible prosecution. Let's see, he got 3 replies. Let's see if we can get interesting replies to that. Saeed says, do you have the video? And Mohammed says, nope. And he continues to say, I watched it online but didn't download it. Honestly, I just think that a video needs to be scrapped from the internet and people should stop sharing it. And Kezia says, I couldn't go beyond the first few seconds. As soon as I saw the child in the video, I paused it and I deleted it. There's a child in the room, for God's sake. And Benjamin Olum says, end time prophecy and something were adopted some years back called democracy. Noble Albert says, if investigation has been made and is true, they should sentence them to death. People are trying to destroy the country with wickedness. So those are your comments on if this is not impunity, then what is it? Are we experiencing a rape culture in Ghana? A few more comments from that is Akapa, who says, children tend to trust adults and to be naive about the tactics of corrupt people. And Kwesi says, kudos to the girl, she resisted them, but the law should take its full course. And Infinity Sam says, well, I have not watched it, but my question is it in Ghana or here outside? And to Infinity Sam, it is here in Ghana. And Richard Lante says, our laws don't bite as hard as they should, which is something I would have to agree on. Pedro Asari Frank says they must be fished out and arrested. I agree with Pedro Asante. And Adam comes and says arrest and castrate all of them. And Isaka Muni says let's look for them and arrest them. And Judith says I think they should be identified and face the law. This is not fair. And we're not going to take Jake Kim's comment. And Nanayao is just really shocked. And Jay Matthews came with a fighting emoji, to just, we need to fight these people and send them to the law. They must face the law. And Berna says, I'm so peeved right now. And Muhammad says, it's a sad this thing. So those are your comments if we're experiencing a rape culture in Ghana. So over the past weekend, I went to Cape Coast to unwind, and what I saw, I really couldn't believe it. Anyways, what I saw is similar to this picture that I will posted on Facebook. So back at home, we love the beach. We go there to lie. We go there to lie in the sand, and I mean, this is. It was traumatizing for me. It was very traumatizing. It is sad indeed that Ghana has a toilet situation. Ghana tops the Open Defecation League table in Africa. And guess who is second? South Sudan. So how can Ghana be competing with South Sudan? So we are coming second and South Sudan is coming first. So all apologies to South Sudan, but I mean how? About 7,332 out of the 20,738 public basic schools in the country do not have toilet facilities, while 6,922 do not have urinal facilities. That is 30% of schools without toilet facilities. How do we build schools without toilet facilities? Well, the Central Regional Minister, Kwamena Duncan, has called for a radical approach to eradicating open defecation in the country. According to him, the practice of open defecation has become a disgrace to the nation that has just celebrated 60 years of independence. So here on Joy News, on Joy News Interactive, we want to ask you, what radical approach should we adopt to change this shameful behavior? Let's check your comments on Facebook. The first comment we're going to take is from Walena, who says, this 21st century, we are seeing this in Ghana. By the way, some people refer this to modernized toilet facility. And Edward Miller says, I think government should help landlords and landladies to dig toilets in the houses. And public toilets should be more in all the 10 regions. And Yeba Solomon says the only radical approach is to enforce our laws. And Na Ode says when they provide washrooms, people will stop. But now the question we're asking is, what radical approach should we adopt to change this shameful behavior? And Andy Owusu says, okay, we'll take Demi Dear Simon's attitude change by all of us is what will inspire us to give a radical approach to open defecation. And more comments from Thomas, who says radical approach is only by arrest. And Mashoud says nothing. And then let's take more comments from you. Okay, those are the only comments. So we're asking, what radical approach should we adopt to change this shameful behavior of open defecation? So I'm going to take a quick break. We'll be back with more. You're still watching Joy News Interactive here on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 144. Like I said, if you want first-class seats to the interactive train, you can catch us on Joy News on TV, on Facebook and Twitter. So the Ghana Made Fair was trending over the weekend. Artists bring beauty into our world. They look at things differently and they inspire us to be more creative. Yet, very few of them make a good living from their artwork. I spoke to a couple of artists at the Ghana Made Fair this past Saturday at Oxford Street in Osu, and this is what they had to say. A picture picture is a poem without words, and this specific picture has grabbed my attention. I'm here with David, the man behind this picture, and he's going to explain what was his inspiration. David, so tell me more about this picture.
Okay, there's African beauty, and as we the Africans, we have to portray our natural culture. So I just used sawdust, pieces of wood, then molded it on the canvas, and the beads. Mostly our ladies, when they put the beads at their waist, it gives them shape. It does a whole lot of things. But nowadays, some of our ladies are copying the foreigners. So I was trying to use my artwork to educate our local ladies so that they will go by their old ways instead of copying the white blindly. Yeah.
So tell me the challenges. Are people buying local made art, or are they going for more foreign art?
Okay, I think for our land, people are now getting the concept of art. Okay. But as time goes on, it will be okay. Since we came this morning, people have been here, oh, it's nice, it's cool, but no one is actually patronizing it. But we know with time, it will be cool.
Africa. Art enables us to find and lose ourselves at the same time, and I think that's absolutely beautiful. I'm here with Lucas, who's going to tell me about this art piece of his. Lucas, so what inspired this?
What?
What inspired the whole art piece?
It's a beach scene, and people who are fishing in the beach.
Are people buying your artwork?
When it talks of patronizing, people are not buying. People are not patronizing the things, and it makes things not comfortable for the art people. Yeah.
So from the Draw News Interactive team, we say support local artists. And we asked you on Facebook how often you support them. And if you don't, why not? Do you prefer international art to our own? If you're not an art person, how often do you support local businesses? Our first comment on Facebook is from Edward Miller, who says, I love the local, but they should stop their beef. How often do we hear the international artists fight? If they change, we will help. And Al Hassan says, I prefer local, but they must learn. I've always been for Kwame and for some other guys who believe in branding than just singing or trying Kwame. And let's take more comments of you support local artists. From Sana Muhammad, who says, I go for my local artists at all time. And for that matter, I belong to BIM Nation and Gadam Nation. And I'm happy and proud of what they're doing. BIM and Gadam. And Nana Yao says, we're making hip life interesting. I was following. Now everything they do is backbiting. Okay. And Hope HC says, I prefer foreign to local due to language barrier if it has to do with a lot of unnecessary comedy and exaggeration. And Nwaboti says, I like some of the local, but some also make too much noise. Aja Kofi says, I prefer local with a taste of professionalism, just aging my folks to be up the task. And Ernest Jamal says, it's about choices, really. So those are your comments if you support local artists. So you call yourself a Ghanaian, you strut proudly with the Ghanaian traditional attire, you bear a Ghanaian name, but how well do you know your country? So we asked you, what's the highest mountain in Ghana? Let's find out.
Mountain Afajato. Oh. I have no idea about that. I have no idea.
Oh, well, you see, man.
I don't know.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The highest mountain.
Mountain in Ghana.
The highest mountain. Mountain Afajaso.
What is the highest mountain in Ghana?
Oh, Afajatu. Hey, mountain. I mean, it's mountain Afajatu.
So at least most of our people knew what the highest mountain in Ghana is. And we asked you on Facebook, what are some of the interesting facts you know about Ghana? And the first comment is from Edwinaldo, who says, I know corruption, I know pull him down, which is PhD syndrome, and whom you know, selfishness. Okay, we said interesting facts. You know, we want facts, not just like opinions. And nothing to smile about, though. Ghana is a peaceful and a loving place to stay. Now that's an interesting fact. And Edward Miller says, I know Ghana to be a peaceful land with natural gifts, but now corruption is killing Ghana, and politics without development and lack of maintenance culture. And Solomon says embezzlement, corruption, and lack, okay, and dirty cities, and also a country that sees something wrong with hunting witches and wizards. Okay, and Emmanuel PK says people are corrupt and wicked. Xavier says the interesting fact is our mineral sources and our cocoa are rather priced by the foreign countries the amount they wanted, but surprisingly, quote, a price for theirs if they bring it here. Okay, Xavier, that's a nice fact. And Emmanuel Scott says one of the most corrupt countries in Africa, a nation which has everything but always led by useless and selfish politicians. And Nanayao says Ghana's struggle for independence led by Nkrumah and the Big Six. Richmond says political, religious, and educational corruption is killing us. And Valano says easiest way of making money, just sets up church in Ghana. And King Goza says 95% of our journalists. Thank you very much for your comment there, King Goza. And Adu Jemfi says 70% of our MPs are lawyers, but only bad laws are discussed and passed. And Kofi Mensah says, what some of you are writing about Ghana are perceptions and not facts. Well, Kofi, so give us a fact about Ghana. I totally agree with you that they're writing perceptions and not facts, but give us a fact about Ghana. And King Solomon says, first country to gain independence in Africa. And Kwesi Ibuachi says, Kwame Nkrumah's favorite meal is banku and fish. And Domayele says, Northern Ghana has 3 regions. Northern region, Tamale, Upper East region, Bongata, and Upper East region, Wa. And Sylvester says, a country of hypocrites. And Musa says, interesting fact, I live in my house. Okay, Musa, thank you so much for that lovely comment. The greatest gifts are not wrapped in paper, but in love. With only 6 days to Christmas, what is the best gift to buy for your loved ones? We wanted to ask you, what would you buy for your loved ones for Christmas? Would it be a gift, an item of clothing, shoes? So Facebook comments, we asked you. And the first Facebook comment we're going to take is from Edward Miller, who says, let's see what Edward Miller says. This time around, I will buy my loved ones the image of Mary and the child Jesus Christ to motivate them that he is the only one to be worshipped. And Boafu Isaac says, then I should also be thinking about what to give out. Not all the time should we be expecting people to give us something. And Nana Yao says, I'd buy them a carved image of the praise to continue reminding them of the sweet change they voted for. And Hope HC says, I'm still confused here. Don't know what to do. Still thinking about it. All right. I hope you come to Joy News Interactive on our Facebook post, which is Joy News on TV, and you can find ideas on what to buy for your loved ones. And Norbert says, something like a Christmas dress for my loved ones and the less privileged in my neighborhood. And Akwesi Idrisi says, loads of hug. For God so loved us that he gave us Christmas. And Frank Kwabana says, buy her a Bible and write on a piece of paper the church she should attend. Frank, after all, is also her choice in which church she should attend. So those were some of your ideas and comments on what we should buy your loved one for Christmas. From the Joy News Interactive, you've gotten a few ideas on what to buy. We know what highest mountain in Ghana is. So thank you for watching. Remember, if you want a first class seat On the Joy News Interactive train, it is DSTV channel 421 and Go TV channel 144. On Facebook and Twitter, we are Joy News on TV. I am Mapito Sibiri.